I should have known better when I felt that first flutter in my belly. 3 months along, and I still hadn't told him. How could I? The man lying in that hospital bed wasn't just any patient, he was Han Dae-sung. The man whose name made even hardened criminals lower their voices in Chicago's underworld. The man whose blood had covered my hands more times than I cared to count. And now I carried his child. My cousin Marcus had warned me. Kendra, you don't understand who these people are. If he finds out you're connected to me. But I didn't listen. And now, watching Dae-sung's chest rise and fall beneath crisp white sheets, I wondered which truth would destroy me first. Would you stay silent if you knew the truth might cost you everything? Hit subscribe to follow my journey, and drop a heart in the comments if you'd keep this secret too. His eyes snapped open, dark and alert despite the morphine. I flinched, needle still in hand. You changed the dosage, he said, voice rough with pain. You'll thank me when you don't develop an addiction. I adjusted his fore, pretending my hands weren't shaking. He caught my wrist. His touch gentle but inescapable. Most nurses don't argue with men who arrive with duffel bags of cash. I'm not most nurses. I tried pulling away. Failed. No, he murmured, studying my face. You're not. 3 gunshot wounds, and still his grip felt like iron. The room smelled of antiseptic and expensive cologne. Outside, his men guarded the door. Inside, something dangerous sparked between us. You should be dead, I whispered. The corner of his mouth lifted. Not quite a smile. Disappointed? Confused. Your heart stopped twice on my table. Perhaps it needed the right reason to start again. His thumb traced circles on my pulse point. Every instinct screamed to pull away. Every cell in my body leaned closer. When I leave this hospital, he said softly, you're coming with me. Not a question. A certainty. And God help me, as his eyes held mine, I already knew I would follow this man straight into hell. Even if it meant burying my secrets, and my cousin's betrayal, deeper than the bullets I'd dug from Dae-sung's chest. Day 3 in Dae-sung's penthouse, and I still jumped at shadows. The place was all glass and steel, cold, minimalist, beautiful. Like him. Your hands are shaking again, he said from the doorway. I nearly dropped the prenatal vitamins I'd been hiding in my palm. Swallowed them dry instead, hoping he hadn't noticed. Just tired. Gunshot wounds tend to disrupt my sleep schedule. His eyes, those impossibly perceptive eyes, missed nothing. He crossed the room in bare feet, still moving carefully around his bandaged torso. You've been sick in the mornings. Not eating. Taking pills when you think I'm not watching. His voice remained neutral, but something dangerous lurked beneath. My heart hammered. Patient confidentiality works both ways. Not in my world. He stood too close now. I could smell his skin, sandalwood and something uniquely him. My body remembered his touch before my mind could protest. Your cousin Marcus called again. He held up my phone. 3 times today. Ice flooded my veins. You went through my phone? Of course I did. No apology. No shame. He seems desperate to reach you. Marcus. The cousin who'd infiltrated Dae-sung's organization 6 months ago. The cousin who needed inside information for his FBI task force. The cousin who'd begged me to keep my pregnancy secret until they could build their case. He worries, I managed. My family's protective. Dae-sung's fingers traced my jawline, tilting my face up. Family is everything, isn't it, Kendra? The bonds that define us. The secrets we keep for them. The gentle threat in his words made my knees weak. What am I to you? He asked suddenly. Patient. Target. Enemy. Father of my child. I don't know, I whispered honestly. His kiss caught me off guard, soft where I expected force, patient where I expected demand. Like he had all the time in the world to unravel me. Like he already knew exactly what I was hiding. The black duffel bag hit the coffee table with a heavy thud. $1 million, Dae-sung said casually, like he was commenting on the weather. Enough to disappear. I stared at the money, then at him. You make it sound so simple. It is. He zipped the bag closed. My jet leaves for Auckland tonight. New identities, new beginning. The morning sickness rose again. I swallowed it down. I need to see my mother first. His jaw tightened. Too dangerous. She's all I have. She deserves to know why I'm vanishing. And Marcus? Will you see him too? Dae-sung's voice turned cold. My cousin has nothing to do with this. He has everything to do with this. He pulled out his phone, showing me surveillance photos. Marcus entering federal buildings. Meeting with men in suits. Did you think I wouldn't know he's FBI? The floor seemed to tilt beneath me. Dae-sung. Were you working with him? His voice remained terrifyingly calm. Is that why you were in that ER that night? No. The word tore from my throat. I didn't know. Don't lie to me, Kendra. His hands cupped my face, thumbs brushing my cheekbones. So gentle. So lethal. Not when I'm risking everything for you. I would never betray you. The terrible irony of those words with his child growing inside me. Then why does the FBI have your name? Why did Marcus call you 17 times yesterday? Because he's family. I pulled away. Because he knows what it's like having a father who was shot dead on our front porch. Because Sunday dinners were the only normal thing we had growing up in South Side. Something shifted in his eyes, recognition, maybe. Understanding. I'll arrange the meeting, he said finally. But we do it my way. Before I could answer, his lieutenant burst in. Boss, the police found something in the hospital duffel. Records connecting Mayor Chen to the construction kickbacks. Dae-sung's expression darkened. Then we have less time than I thought. Old Faith Baptist Church looked abandoned from the outside. Perfect cover for the most dangerous reunion of my life. 10 minutes, Dae-sung whispered, adjusting my bulletproof vest beneath my sweater. Say your goodbyes. Nothing about where we're going. He melted into the shadows as I descended into the basement alone. Mama sat rigid in a folding chair, fingers tight around her purse. When she saw me, her composure cracked. Kendra Marie Davis, she breathed, pulling me into her arms. What have you gotten yourself into? I'm okay, Mama. Don't lie to your mother. She held me at arm's length. Men with guns escorted me here. Said it was for my protection. I felt Dae-sung watching from the darkness. It's complicated. It's that Korean man, isn't it? The one Marcus warned about? Her eyes searched mine. Tell me you're not in love with him. The word struck me like a physical blow. Love? Was that what this whirlwind of fear and desire was? Mama, I have to leave the country. I held her hands. I can't explain everything, but I need you to trust me. Her eyes filled with tears. I have cancer, baby. The world stopped. What? Stage 2. Treatment starts next week. My chest tightened. Mama, I go. She squeezed my hands. Whatever you've started, I know you can't stay. I can't leave you. You listen to me. Her voice dropped. Someone else came asking questions. A woman. Said she knew your Korean man from before. Said she was his wife. I felt Dae-sung go still in the shadows. She had his same eyes, Mama continued. Cold. Calculating. Dangerous. My time was up. Dae-sung appeared beside me, his hand at the small of my back. Mrs. Davis, he said with unexpected gentleness. I'll protect your daughter with my life. Mama studied him, then touched his face, a mother's assessment. You better. Because that woman wants you dead. And my baby's carrying your child. Jin-ho's house looked like every other suburban split level on the block. American flag in the yard, basketball hoop in the driveway, golden retriever barking behind the fence. Not exactly where you'd expect to hide Chicago's most wanted criminal. Dae-sung, you crazy bastard, Jin-ho laughed, pulling him into a careful hug, mindful of his wounds. You look terrible. Always honest, Jin, Dae-sung replied with real warmth. Jin-ho's eyes landed on me, then dropped to my stomach in that way people do when they know. And this is Kendra. She saved my life. Jin-ho's wife, Soo-min, appeared behind him, smacking his arm. Stop interrogating them at the door. Can't you see they're exhausted? Inside smelled like kimchi jjigae and fresh laundry. Photos lined the walls, Jin-ho and Soo-min with their 2 children, graduations, birthdays, a life so normal it made my chest ache. You were a teacher? I asked Dae-sung later, pointing to a photo of him and Jin-ho in graduation caps. Jin-ho answered instead. The best history major at SNU. Until his father called him home. That night over dinner, Jin-ho's daughter spilled her milk. The glass shattered, and Dae-sung moved, instantly positioning himself between the child and the sound. An instinct born from violence. He was like that at the community center too, Jin-ho said quietly while Dae-sung helped clean up. When the Yang gang attacked. He got 27 kids into the supply closet before bullets started flying. Later, in our borrowed bedroom, I asked him about it. You saved those children. His eyes darkened. I couldn't save them all. Is that why you became what your father wanted? Dae-sung went still. My father was murdered when I was 17. His last words were for me to maintain our family's honor. His voice dropped. My first act as head of the family was to execute his killer. I took his hand, tracing the scars across his knuckles. The hands of a teacher that had become the hands of an executioner. My father made me a monster, he whispered. I've been trying to find my way back ever since. That's when Jin-ho burst in, face pale. Someone's here. A woman. Says her name is Min-ah. She stood in the living room as if she belonged there, elegant in a tailored pantsuit, hair swept into a perfect chignon. When she saw Dae-sung, her composure cracked, just for a second. Appa, she whispered, the Korean term of endearment hanging in the air between them. The blood drained from Dae-sung's face. You're dead. Clearly not. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Though you didn't try very hard to find me, did you? I felt invisible, watching them orbit each other like planets locked in gravity. History and pain and something else, something I didn't want to name. 5 years, Dae-sung said hoarsely. 5 years mourning you. While building your empire on my father's ashes. Her voice sharpened. I heard the Han family thrived after the tragic accident that killed the Park line. My mind raced to catch up. Park. Her father must have been Dae-sung's rival. Your father ordered the hit that killed my mother, Dae-sung countered. Or did you forget that detail? Min-ah's eyes flicked to me, assessing. And who is this? Your latest conquest? The dismissal in her tone made my spine straighten. I'm the woman who dug 3 bullets out of him while you were playing dead. Her eyebrow arched. And carrying his child, I hear. Dae-sung's head whipped toward me. The shock in his eyes confirmed what I already knew. My mother had revealed my secret. Kendra. His voice was barely audible. Min-ah circled us, predatory. How sweet. But irrelevant to our situation. Which is? I managed. I work for the Joint Organized Crime Task Force now. She pulled out a badge. I can get you both out of the country. New identities. New lives. In exchange for what? Dae-sung asked warily. Everything you have on the Japak leadership. Names, accounts, operations. Her eyes softened fractionally. It's your only chance, Appa. Especially with a child on the way. The word child hung between us, heavy as a stone. I know you're waiting to see what choice I'll make, trust the woman who once loved him, or protect the secrets that kept us alive. If you're feeling that pull between danger and protection like I am right now, hit subscribe. Drop a red heart in the comments if you think I should trust Min-ah, or fire if you think she's setting us up. The truth might destroy everything we've built. Names, dates, accounts, Min-ah said, spreading documents across Jin-ho's kitchen table. Everything the task force needs to dismantle the Japak's American operations. Dae-sung hadn't spoken directly to me since learning about the baby. Now he stood by the window, shoulders tense, watching the street. You're asking me to betray everyone who's ever followed me, he finally said. Men whose families I've protected. Men who would kill Kendra and your child if they knew, Min-ah countered. I watched them carefully. 5 years apart hadn't dulled whatever had existed between them. Each knew exactly how to wound the other. The immunity offer is real, Min-ah said, softer. Kendra could return to nursing eventually. Your child could have a normal life. What about you? I asked. What do you get from this? Min-ah's perfect composure slipped. Justice. Revenge, Dae-sung corrected. Against the men who ordered her death. Is there a difference? Min-ah's smile was brittle. You of all people should understand. While they argued in rapid Korean, I stepped outside. My hands instinctively cradled my stomach, 16 weeks now. Barely showing. Dae-sung found me there. I should have told you, I said before he could speak. Yes. His voice was carefully neutral. You should have. I was afraid. Of me? Of this. I gestured vaguely between us. Whatever this is. He took my hands, placed them back on my stomach, his own covering mine. The tenderness nearly broke me. In Korea, he said quietly, we believe children choose their parents before birth. This child chose us, Kendra. Whatever happens, I will honor that choice. Min-ah's offer requires betraying everything I am. You're not just a gangster, I said fiercely. You wanted to be a teacher. You protected those children. You can be that man again. His forehead touched mine. What would you have me do? I thought of my mother's cancer. Of Jin-ho's normal family. Of the baby who deserved better than bulletproof vests and safe houses. Sometimes, I whispered, betrayal is the most loyal thing you can do. When we returned inside, Min-ah was waiting. One look at our faces, and she knew. The Kim family first, Dae-sung said, reaching for the papers. They're the ones who tried to kill me. Min-ah's smile didn't reach her eyes. Always the tactician. What she didn't say, what I saw clearly, was that her offer hadn't been about justice at all. It had been about getting him back. The Canadian border loomed ahead, a thin line between danger and possibility. Remember, Min-ah instructed, you're David and Kelly Song, returning from your cousin's funeral in Chicago. I adjusted my wig and glasses, the fake pregnancy padding making me look 7 months along instead of 4. The irony wasn't lost on me. Border agents look at eyes and hands, I explained, applying makeup to change Dae-sung's features. They're trained to spot nervousness. Where did you learn this? Dae-sung asked, impressed. Emergency room. You learn to spot fake IDs when teenagers come in with alcohol poisoning. Min-ah watched us with calculating eyes. Your nursing skills might save us yet. The border crossing appeared ahead. Dae-sung tensed beside me. You remember what I told you, Min-ah murmured to him in Korean. What did she say? I asked. He took my hand. That there's a chance for you to go back. Return to your life. My heart stuttered. What? Your cousin Marcus arranged it, Min-ah explained. Immunity in exchange for testimony against Dae-sung. You'd be free, Kendra. Your mother's medical bills covered. The betrayal stung like a slap. You've been planning this? I've been giving you options, Min-ah corrected. More than he ever did. Dae-sung's grip tightened on my hand. There's an old Korean saying, when you cross a river, throw away the bridge behind you. Sometimes looking back makes moving forward impossible. The border checkpoint was 2 cars away now. Your mother's cancer treatment, Min-ah pressed. Your career. Your life in Chicago. Versus a future with a man I'd known for weeks. A man who'd lived a life of violence. A man who still hadn't said he loved me. Decide now, Min-ah said as we pulled up to the checkpoint. The border agent approached our window. Citizenship? American, I replied automatically. Purpose of visit to Canada? I looked at Dae-sung, this man who'd rewritten my entire world in 48 hours. Then at Min-ah, offering me my old life back. Family, I said finally. We're starting a new life. The agent nodded, checking our fake passports. His radio crackled. We've got a hit on a medical professional. Nurse from Chicago. Davis, Kendra. Wanted for questioning about stolen pharmaceuticals. My blood ran cold. Someone had framed me. Papers look good, the agent said, handing them back. Welcome to Canada, Mr. and Mrs. Song. As we drove across the border, Dae-sung whispered, you chose us. I chose us, I agreed, not knowing I'd just crossed a line far more significant than any national boundary. The storm hit as we reached Min-ah's safe house, a tiny cabin tucked against the Canadian wilderness. Blizzard conditions. No way out. The fever's back, I said, pressing my hand to Dae-sung's forehead. His wounds had reopened during our border escape. Min-ah appeared with a first aid kit. My medical supplies are limited. I need antibiotics. Clean bandages. Something to break the fever. She hesitated, then pulled a hidden panel from the wall, revealing a stash of medical supplies. I always prepare for everything. For hours, I worked on Dae-sung while snow piled against the windows. His skin burned beneath my hands, delirium setting in as night fell. Iama, he murmured, slipping into Korean. Jibal. Mayanhi. Min-ah translated softly. He's calling for his mother. Saying sorry. I wiped his brow. What happened to her? Killed in a raid when he was 10. His father blamed him for not protecting her. The cruelty of it twisted in my chest. Even in fever, Dae-sung carried that guilt. By midnight, his fever broke. Min-ah and I collapsed on opposite ends of the couch, exhausted. You care for him, she said, not a question. Yes. Even knowing what he is? I know who he is, I corrected. The rest is circumstance. She studied me. You're either very brave or very foolish. Both, probably. Later that night, the nightmares came. Gunfire. Blood. The warehouse where I'd swung a tire iron at a man's head. I woke gasping, hands protectively covering my belly. Dae-sung was there, somehow beside me despite his weakness. Kendra, he murmured. It's okay. You're safe. I killed someone, I whispered. At the warehouse. I never told you. His arms tightened around me. To protect us. Does it ever get easier? Living with it? No. His honesty was brutal, comforting. But you learned to carry it. In the morning, Min-ah received a call. Her face went blank as she listened, responding in clipped Korean. When she hung up, something had changed. My handler's coming, she said, not meeting my eyes. The deal's changed. They're only offering immunity to Kendra now. Dae-sung's expression hardened. And me? Min-ah looked away. They want you in custody. Min-ah's handler arrived at dawn, a stern-faced man named Director Cho who looked at Dae-sung like he was examining a weapon. Han Dae-sung, he said, heir to the Han crime family. The Bureau's been after you for years. And yet here I am, Dae-sung replied calmly. Offering you the JAPAC leadership. In exchange for your freedom. Cho's smile was cold. A freedom you don't deserve. I stepped forward. He was shot protecting innocence. Miss Davis, Cho said, turning to me. Your immunity offer stands. Witness protection. Medical care for your mother. A new life, for you and your child. The words hung in the air between us. Without him, I clarified. Mr. Han will face justice for his crimes. Dae-sung's hand found mine. Take the deal, Kendra. No. Our child. Needs both parents, I finished. I'm not leaving you. Min-ah cleared her throat. There's another option. We all turned to her. We fake Dae-sung's death, she proposed. The JAPAC and his enemies believe he's gone. The Bureau gets their intelligence. Everyone wins. Except justice, Cho countered. What justice? I demanded. The men who tried to kill us walk free while you target the one who protected us? Dae-sung spoke quietly. I've done terrible things, Kendra. And you're trying to make them right. I faced Cho. Either we both go free, or neither of us cooperates. A tense silence filled the cabin. Outside, snow continued to fall. There's something you should know, Cho finally said. Choi wasn't working for JAPAC. Dae-sung went still. What? Our intelligence suggests he was eliminating competition for someone in your own organization. Someone close to you. That's impossible, Dae-sung said, but doubt clouded his eyes. Your adopted brother, Cho continued. Sang-min. He orchestrated the hit, the ambush at the hospital, everything. The betrayal hit Dae-sung like a physical blow. The brother he'd protected. The last family he had. We can fake your death, Cho conceded. But we'll need evidence against Sang-min in return. Dae-sung's face went blank, the mask of the man I'd first met in the hospital. Agreed, he said finally. As Cho and Min-ah began planning, Dae-sung pulled me aside. You should have taken the deal, he whispered. Chosen safety. When will you understand? I touched his face. I've already made my choice. When he told me his own brother betrayed him, I saw something break inside him that I wasn't sure could be fixed. Have you ever loved someone so damaged by betrayal they might never trust again? Drop a broken heart if you think some wounds never heal, or a flexed biceps if you believe love can overcome even the deepest betrayal. Hit subscribe now, because our plan to fake his death might just tear us apart forever. His name was Han Dae-sung. I sobbed into the camera, makeup streaking down my cheeks. I was treating him when the gunman came. The staged interview took place in a government facility designed to look like a police station. Director Cho nodded approvingly from behind the camera. And you witnessed his death? The agent asked. They shot him right in front of me, I choked out, the scripted lies feeling strange on my tongue. There was so much blood. Somewhere in another room, Dae-sung was watching the feed, seeing me perform grief for a man who wasn't dead. Not yet, anyway. After the interview, Min-ah drove me to the safe house where Dae-sung waited. We hadn't seen each other in 3 days, the longest we'd been apart since the hospital. The footage is already circulating, Min-ah said. Both Japak and Sangmin believe he's dead. I stared out the window. What happens now? Now he becomes someone else. The safe house was small, tucked away on a lakefront. Inside, I found Dae-sung sitting cross-legged on the floor, eyes closed, an old wooden bowl before him. Min-ah explained softly, Hwan Gab ritual. When a Korean turns 60, they symbolically die and are reborn. He's adapting it. I watched as he cut a lock of his hair, placed it in the bowl. Added something that looked like earth from his homeland. Water. Fire. When he opened his eyes and saw me, everything else disappeared. You were convincing, he said. Easy to cry when you've been missing someone. Later, after Min-ah left, he showed me our new passports. David and Kelly Song. I never asked, I said quietly, if this is what you want. Running away. Starting over. He touched my growing belly. I want our child safe. I want you happy. That's not an answer. It's the only one that matters. That night, his phone rang, a secure line that wasn't supposed to exist anymore. He answered, listened, his face growing pale. What is it? I asked when he hung up. Jin-ho. He says my men received news of my death. My lieutenant committed suicide. His voice broke. He was like a brother to me. More than Sangmin ever was. I held him while he grieved for a life he'd never return to, wondering if David Song could ever truly replace the man I'd fallen for in that hospital corridor. Today we'll be discussing the Three Kingdoms period of Korean history. David Song told his classroom, writing characters on the whiteboard with practiced ease. 3 months in New Zealand had changed us both. His hair was longer now, glasses framing eyes that smiled more easily. The wounds had healed, leaving only faint scars. I watched from the classroom door, marveling at how natural he looked. Not a trace of the mafia boss remained. Just a passionate history teacher connecting with his students. Ms. Davis. A girl spotted me. Mr. Song, your wife is here. Dae-sung, David, looked up, his face softening. Class dismissed. Remember your essays are due Friday. We walked home along the beach, his hand resting protectively on my 7-month belly. You looked happy today, I said. I am happy. He sounded surprised by his own words. Teaching feels right. Our cottage sat on a hillside overlooking the ocean. Inside was our attempt at blending worlds, my grandmother's quilt draped over his traditional Korean chest, family recipes from both cultures pinned to the refrigerator, history books beside my medical journals. The clinic offered me full-time once my credentials transfer, I told him, settling onto our couch. Benefits, maternity leave, everything. We're becoming ordinary people, he mused, a hint of wonder in his voice. Is that disappointing? It's a miracle. He kissed me softly. One I never thought possible. The phone rang, interrupting us. My mother's weekly call. But her voice was weaker than last time, strained. The doctors say the cancer's spreading, baby. Treatments aren't working like they hoped. I clutched the phone tighter, meeting Dae-sung's concerned eyes. How long? Don't you worry about that. I'm in God's hands. She paused. But I'd sure like to see my grandbaby before I meet Jesus. After we hung up, Dae-sung held me while I cried. We'll find a way, he promised. For you to see her. That night at dinner, he was quieter than usual. What's wrong? I asked. A new student joined my class today. Jacob Kim. He set down his chopsticks. His father works for the Korean consulate in Auckland. But before that, they lived in Chicago. His eyes met mine. The boy recognized me, Kendra. Asked if I used to work with his uncle. The fragile piece we'd built suddenly felt like a house of cards in a rising wind. You're sure about this? Dae-sung asked, sliding the simple gold band onto my finger. The justice of the piece waited patiently as I placed a matching ring on his hand. I've never been more sure of anything, I answered. Our wedding was nothing like I'd imagined growing up. No church filled with family, no white dress, no father walking me down the aisle. Just us, our promises, and the growing life between us. Dae-sung had insisted on one Korean tradition, matching gold rings for both of us, not just me. In my culture, he'd explained, marriage is balance. Equal commitment. After the ceremony, we walked along the beach, hands linked, planning the impossible. Minna's contacts have secured a diplomatic flight, he explained. You'll travel as Kelly Song, cultural attaché, returning for family reasons. 24 hours in Chicago, then back. And you'll stay here, I said, hating the words even as I spoke them. His jaw tightened. I have to handle the situation with Jacob Kim first. Make sure he's not a threat. That night, I packed while Dae-sung made calls, his Korean flowing soft and urgent across our bedroom. The boy's father was never associated with my organization, he told me afterward. But his uncle worked for Sangmin. It could be coincidence. Or it could be Sangmin tracking us. Dae-sung nodded. Minna is looking into it. I folded my mother's favorite blue sweater into my suitcase. I hate leaving you alone. I'll manage. He pulled me close. Your mother needs you. She needs her cancer gone. Hey. He tilted my chin up. I married a fighter. The strongest woman I know. If anyone can help your mother beat this, it's you. The next morning at the airport, we clung to each other, neither wanting to be the first to let go. 24 hours, I whispered against his neck. Then I'm coming home to you. Home, he repeated, the words still new on his tongue. Mrs. Song. I boarded the plane, 8 months pregnant, wedding ring gleaming, heart torn between the mother who raised me and the husband who'd remade me. As the plane took off, my phone buzzed with a message from Minna, Sangmin knows you're alive. Hunters headed to NZ. Dae-sung in danger. Mama looked smaller in her hospital bed, skin ashen against white sheets. But her eyes lit up when I walked in. "Look at you," she gasped, hands reaching for my belly. "My grandbaby's almost here." I hugged her as carefully as I could. "I've missed you, Mama." "Where's that husband of yours?" she asked, searching behind me. "Handling something back home." She didn't push. "Smart man, letting you come alone." "There's been people watching the house, asking questions." My blood chilled. "What people?" "Korean men. Polite. Always in suits." She patted my hand. "Your cousin Marcus has been keeping an eye out." "Marcus?" "The cousin who tried to use me to get to Dae-sung." "I don't trust him, Mama." She sighed. "Family's complicated, baby. But when trouble comes, blood stands with blood." I checked my phone again. Still no word from Dae-sung. The last message from Min-ah had been cryptic. "He's handling it. Stay focused." That night in Mama's kitchen, I boiled the ginger and date tea Dae-sung had taught me to make. "Korean healing tea," I explained. "For strength." Mama sipped it slowly. "Your man teaching you his ways?" "We're teaching each other." She smiled. "Marriage looks good on you, Kendra." A noise outside made us both freeze. "Get in the bathroom," I whispered, helping Mama up. "Lock the door." Heart pounding, I grabbed the gun from my purse, the one Dae-sung had insisted I bring. My phone buzzed. "Min-ah, Dae-sung neutralized the NZ threat. Clean. No violence." Relief flooded me, until I heard the front door open. "Kendra," a man's voice called. "I know you're here." Sang-min. I'd never met him, but Dae-sung had described his voice perfectly, soft, almost gentle. "Your mother's medical records led us right to you," he continued. "Clever of my brother to fake his death. Less clever to let you fly home alone." I steadied my breathing, gun ready. "We could have been family," Sang-min said, "closer now. If he'd just shared power like brothers should." The kitchen door creaked open. In New Zealand, Dae-sung was facing his own hunters. Here, I faced mine. The difference was, I had something stronger than vengeance driving me. I had a family to protect, past and future. Mother and child. As Sang-min stepped into view, I realized Dae-sung had been right all along. Sometimes the most loyal choice is the most dangerous one. Sang-min smiled when he saw me, gun trained on his chest. "My brother taught you well," he said, unimpressed. "But you won't shoot me. Not with your baby so close to term. You don't know what I'll do to protect my family." His eyes were so like Dae-sung's, same intensity, different soul. "Family?" He laughed. "You're nothing to him. A convenient escape. When the danger passes, he'll return to who he really is." "You mean who your father forced him to be?" Something dangerous flashed across his face. "You know nothing about our father." "I know he made Dae-sung execute a man at 17. Made him sacrifice his dreams. His humanity." Sang-min's finger tightened on his trigger. "Sacrifices necessary for our legacy." "A legacy you betrayed," came a voice from behind him. Dae-sung stood in the doorway, calm as still water. Sang-min whirled. "You're supposed to be in New Zealand. And you're supposed to be my brother." For a heartbeat, I saw genuine pain in Sang-min's eyes. "I would have given you everything. Followed you anywhere. But you never saw me as equal." "I saw you as family," Dae-sung replied, hands empty at his sides. "No weapon. No threat. Which is why I couldn't let you become what our father made me. As they faced each other, past and present, violence and peace, something shifted in the room. The weight of generations of pain hung between them. Put down the gun, brother, Dae-sung said softly. Not for me. For yourself. Sangmin's hand trembled. Give me one reason. Because there's always another choice. What happened next blurred together, Sangmin's indecision, my mother emerging from the bathroom, sirens wailing outside. Not gunfire or bloodshed that ended it, but Min-ah and Director Cho arriving with federal agents. Justice delivered through law, not vengeance. As they took Sangmin away, my mother touched Dae-sung's face. You came back for her. Always, he promised, reaching for me. 1 year later, our garden in New Zealand blooms with flowers from 2 continents. My mother rocks our daughter on the porch, her cancer in remission, her smile brighter than I've seen in years. Dae-sung, David now, in heart as well as name, grades papers at the patio table. His students love him. The history teacher with stories that somehow make the past feel alive. In our yard stands a small stone memorial. Not just for those Dae-sung lost, but for the man he once was. The choices that led us here. Yobo, I call, using the Korean endearment he taught me. When he looks up, I place his hand on my stomach. She's going to have a brother. His eyes widen, then fill with tears. A son? A teacher, maybe, I smile. Or a doctor. Or anything he chooses to be. Dae-sung pulls me close, whispering against my hair. How did I deserve this? By choosing a different path. By becoming who you were always meant to be. Over his shoulder, I watch my mother with our daughter, past and future together in harmony. The life we built from bullets and blood and impossible choices. A 48-hour debt that became a lifetime promise. Our story began with a timer counting down, 48 hours to live or die. Now we're counting years instead, each one better than the last. What impossible choice would you make for love? What life could you build from the wreckage of your past? If our journey touched your heart, hit subscribe and leave a red heart in the comments. Let me know what impossible choice you've made that changed everything. Because sometimes the most dangerous decision is the one that saves us all.